So last week I interviewed Susan Pullen. This week I just want to get straight into dreams. And I absolutely love this dream. Uh, it's titled Driving with My Mother and Chinese Dragon on a Bed. It's almost like two dreams, the way the dreamer writes it. Um, and I love the dream a lot. No idea why I like it as much as I do, but I wanted to share it with you because I like it so much. I'm calling the dreamer Amy. You may notice that I use the same names all the time on the show. And you might think, why does he always do Amy's dreams or some other person's dreams? It's because I use the same names to hide the real identities. But they are all different people, or usually are all different people. What I like about this dream is it's obvious what the dream is saying. The dreamer's mom has mobility issues and they show up in the dream and cause the dreamer to take pause. So what would it mean if that happens to you in a dream? Well, let's have a look. She says, I'm driving with my mother near from her house. We're headed down Mercer Street, almost to 12th Avenue East. Very detailed dreamer. I am aware that there is a large pothole midway down the hill and in the middle of the street. I know this because I have gone this way before. Just as we were coming up to it, a red metal megaphone about 2 feet long, the kind they have at sporting events, drops right out of the sky in front of us and falls right into the pothole. She says, I was already anticipating driving around the pothole, but this surprises us. So I pull over to the left. There are no other cars on the street, she says, and park. So, okay. She's even telling us she's doing good driving during the dream. Okay, so Mercer Street, that could be where the dreamer's from. I don't know, but Mercer Island is an island in Seattle. So that's going to tell us it's about the heart straight away. We expect it to be mom issues or issues to do with the feminine side. The dreamer says, gives us a few gifts, tells us a few gifts already. First of all, going back to the mom thing, she says she's driving with her mother, so it's carrying influences from mom, and we know that that's generally not a good thing to see in a dream. There are extremely rare cases, and you could say to yourself, oh, I must be one of those, but it's very unlikely. If I do 10,000 dreams, then I might find two where mom is a positive person and positive influence in the dreamer's life. Usually dreams focus on what we need to heal. And because they're focusing on what we need to heal, your mom could have lots of good traits, but that's not what the dream is going to talk about. It's going to talk about the negative ones that impacted you. So that's just how it is. It's how they work. So we expect it to be mom issues showing up in the dream, and therefore some gifts that work with feminine energy. You say, I'm aware that there's a large pothole midway down. I know this because I've been here before. Well, that's going to be one of two things. It's either that you're on a karmic cycle because you've tried to do this in your by coming here in a previous incarnation, or else it's going to be about you have the gift of prophecy. And I'm going to go with prophecy. I'm just saying the other thing because it can apply to other people. I'm going to say for you, it's the gift of prophecy. You get knowings about things in advance. And so anything in front of us in a dream is our future. And so when you know what's going to happen further up the road or what you're going to come across further up the road, that's the perfect signal in a dream to say you have this ability in waking life. So you've got that. Just as we're coming up to it, this pothole, you say a red metal megaphone about 2 feet long drops into it out of the sky. Well, anything that comes from the sky is generally a good thing in a dream. Okay, well, this is anyway. And it's 2 feet long, so that tells us something as well. A megaphone, what do we use them for? Well, whoever is the person at the megaphone with the megaphone at an event is the person that you are meant to listen to. And the powers that be have all deemed that this is the person to listen to, because otherwise they wouldn't have given them a megaphone. So megaphones indicate spiritual leadership in a dream. So this dreamer, Amy, has a spiritual leadership gift. You say it's 2 feet long, so she also is a channel, because twos show up in dreams for channeling. I channeled on it, and she is a channel. So there's not enough just with the two to say that, but we know in this case she is, and she's meant to use her spiritual leadership going forward. That's what the 2 feet is also about. Anyway, it drops right out of the sky. It's in front of you. So there it is. Go pick it up. But at least you stop and you pull over to because this happened. Now, you don't pick the megaphone up. That's a pity. But we'll see spiritual leadership coming up later on in your dream again. Then you say, I see a woman with something in hand, small papers, and she's going into the gate of a house there, and she gestures for us to come in too. There's a whole elaborate garden with bamboo and tropical plants and a water feature that one has to cross on stepping stones to get up to a large house up above. I could see the house and had several levels and verandas. The woman asked me for my contact info, and she went on up to the house. I looked at my mom, wondering if she would be able to make it down to the stepping stones and over the water. And she has in brackets, she has mobility issues, and this looked beyond her ability. Okay, so let's go back over that. The woman gesturing for you to come in too, in through the gate. That's really good. So that's inviting you in. So do you feel invited in life? Did you feel welcomed by mom? That's going to be a no, because of the way this dream is healing that. You're invited along by this woman. You say there's an elaborate garden with bamboo and tropical plants. Okay, so that's going to be heart related, because tropical plants are green, obviously, usually colorful, but green and dark green. So you don't say anything about them, but we know that's there. The bamboo is a reference to digestive system stuff, but we can skip that for here. What I do like is the water feature. And the stepping stones to get across the water feature. I do also like the several levels on the veranda. So you've got several levels about you. You are here to discover new levels of yourself. And you talk about moving up to the house. So you're being asked in the dream to move up, raise your spiritual awareness. The stepping stones across the water, of course, are what you're to take. You're to get into the spiritual field and take these steps. But you say, you wonder if your mom will be able to make it. So here's the thing. You're carrying the influence of mom. That's what mom means in the dream. It doesn't mean that you're actually going around with your mom. You're carrying her influence. And because of her influence, when you get to this thing where you know your way, you see a stepping stone. So this is the path. This is what you're meant to do. These are the steps you are meant to take. And you know it. But you hold yourself back because of mom's influence. That's what you in the dream, wondering whether you could do it with mom, whether she'd be able to do it. And it doesn't matter that in reality she has mobility issues. It's you bring them into the dream to show that mom is the influence that causes you to hold back. And that's what that part of the dream is about. And I said I like the water feature because that's telling us this is what you're meant to do. Get into your spiritual side, use that as a stepping stone, and that's going to help you realize the other levels that you've got within you. We all have several levels. You've got, and to have them pointed out in your dream is great. You say, then the scene shifted and we returned back to her house, which was the house I grew up in. So this brings us back to childhood, as it always does. Even with just mom there, that's enough to say it's bringing you back to childhood. I said, as it always does. It doesn't always. Some dreams are about recent things and what you need to do and what's going on in your career and so on. But this dream is not that. My sister, who lives with my parents, told me that someone had been up in the house and up in my room. So I went up there and there was a large, colourful Chinese dragon made out of paper/material. It reminded me of the ones that people get under in parades, but not as large. It was laying over the bed, its head towards the top of the bed and its tail hanging out over the end, and was about 8 feet long. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for a second and go back and cover that. So bringing you back to childhood because you're back at your house. And I love the Chinese dragon. And this is Chinese dragons are associated with water. They're not like the dragons in European mythology, let's say, where it's all fire breathing and so on. So they're connected with spirituality because of their connection with water. In the Chinese sense. And you say it's the type that would be used in a parade. So parades are about identity. Like I'm from Ireland, and Ireland celebrates with the St. Patrick's Day parade. Mexico celebrates with the Cinco de Mayo. America's July 4th. And you know that what all these parades are about, and you know who's going to be in the parades because of who the country is or what you identify with the parade. And so parades then are about, this is who I am, and you understanding who you are. So you are spiritual in nature and have a spiritual side to you that you need to get in touch with. And so the woman in the earlier part of the dream asked for your address. So she's really saying, like you said, contact info/address. So she's asking you, where are you at in terms of where you need to go in life? And she's showing you, like, get into the spiritual field because of the way she walks across the stepping stones and so on. She's asking you, where are you at compared to where you need to go to? And we always need to do that, discover where we are, and figure out then from where we are what we need to do and the steps we need to take. We always like to think we're a little bit ahead of where we are. But anyway, so figure out where you are. That's what her message was in the last part. And then the parade here in this part is the same thing. Figure out who you are and display that. Be that person. You say it was over the bed. Beds and dreams. Now, this is your childhood bedroom. So it's going to be about bringing you back to your childhood. But it's also about you being a spiritual leader because of what comes up in the next bit, but also because of the dragon. You say it was about 8 feet long. 8 is, as a number, is always about expansion through balance, expansion through working on your feminine side. If you can imagine, you can balance an 8 on the end of your finger. You say, I walked closer and there were more decorations. I also noticed that there was a bedspread and pillows on the bed. I don't have a cover like that, but somehow I knew that it had been flipped over to the other side. So now the side facing up was bright orange with mystical designs, and the other side was purple, kind of tie-dyed looking. There was a large pillow with a pillowcase matching the cover, and it was placed at an angle so that I could read, "Thank you very much" on it. I am thinking, how did this happen? How did they get in? Thinking it was somehow connected to what happened earlier. So again, the how did they get in, that's connected to feeling welcome and wanted at the start of life. The large pillowcase and the bedspread and all that sort of stuff is all about your spiritual side. When we sleep, we leave our bodies and go to the spirit world, and so beds can also be about that. And here, because it's a large pillow and so on, it's asking you to get in touch with that. The colors, the color purple is about your spiritual leadership ability, and orange is, again, it's going to be part of the digestive system stuff because it's the chakra that feeds that part of your body. But it's also a color for ambition. And so it's asking you to have more ambition when it comes to getting into your spiritual side. Have more drive. That would be a good way of putting it. And that's what's facing up now. So this is what you need to do. It was hidden because you said that was the part that was underneath before, and it's been flipped up. So it's now no longer hidden, and you're being shown and given thanks for developing that side of you and bringing it to the forefront, and obviously then using that to help people. So what are you going to do first? You're going to work on the issues with your mom, cut the ties with mom, and then that's going to help you understand yourself better and also get more into your spiritual leadership gift, which maybe you already are very in touch with. I don't know, but it's going to be better for you once you cut the ties with mom. And thank you for sending the dream. I just love that dream. There's probably something in it that I didn't point out that makes me really like it. I think it's just a very straightforward, simple one. Like the woman walking across the stepping stones, obviously showing you the way, inviting you in, showing you weren't invited, and then clearly you not doing it because your mom won't make it across. So it seems like an act of kindness in the dream, but it's not. You're holding yourself back. And we do that. We hold ourselves back because of other people's influence. Even if they don't expressly ask us not to do something, we can still hold ourselves back and think we're doing it out of love, which is not great. Thank you for watching this clip from the Dream Interpretation Podcast. If you want to hear the whole show, there's a link directly under this video. Please like and share with your friends, all of your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast at thedreaminterpretationpodcast.com. That's also where you can submit your dream to the show and have yours featured. You can also download my free dictionary that has thousands of symbols that will help you understand the meaning of your dreams. Thanks for listening.